Hey everyone, welcome to the C-Class YouTube channel. I'm your host Carmine. I created this channel as a way to help others grow and learn. If you are interested in learning how you can create your best life through personal development, creating systems that work, and understanding the world you live in, then subscribe to my channel for a wide range of topics that will stimulate your mind and keep you on track to success. If you're new to this channel, then I would recommend taking a personality assessment, which you can find the link for in the description below, and check out my past videos explaining how to develop using type. This will help you understand some of the personality development topics discussed on the show. So now let's get into this week's discussion, which will focus on INTP parenting. I'm making this video because, as some people may know, my wife will be having our first child in March of 2021. First, I'll tell you about some of the trips to the doctor's office and what I have learned about babies from their experiences. The second part of this video will be my personal thoughts in anticipation of the arrival of baby C. All right, so really quick, before I get into showing you guys the ultrasound pictures, I just wanted to tell you guys about the story of how we knew my wife was pregnant. And the reason that we knew my wife was pregnant, and this was like long before she would ever have her first doctor appointment, was because of this guy right here, my puppy Caillou. He's not really a puppy, he's like 9 years old now. But how he started acting when she first became pregnant was very strange. He started coming into the room pretty much whenever she was in here, and he wouldn't let me near her unless we were sleeping. Like, once I woke up, I wasn't really allowed next to the bed. Or like if I went to go say bye before leaving for work, he would kind of try to stop me. And it was basically because he knew she was pregnant. And I'm going to get into that, why I think he knew she was pregnant in a little while. But we'll get into the ultrasounds now.
So you can see right here, this is the head. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you see it moving?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Little arms, little legs. Everything's just kind of forming right now, so I know this looks a little weird, but this is exactly what it should look like.
Oh, girl.
All right, so that sound that you just heard was baby C's heartbeat during his first ultrasound. And what you're going to hear the doctor say is that the heartbeat was at 165 beats per minute, which gave me like a heart attack at first, because I just know 165 beats per minute isn't the normal resting heartbeat for a human being. Then I started thinking, okay, maybe the machine is picking up on my wife's heartbeat as well as the baby's, because that might make a little bit more sense. But that's not the case. The case is that when a baby's small, they're going to have a fast heartbeat. And then as they grow, their heartbeat will slow down to a more normal heartbeat. I found that to be very interesting. And I think it gave me more of a heart attack because for the first ultrasound, I couldn't be there. We had to do it FaceTime, and I was in the middle of a meeting during the FaceTime, so I missed part of it, and I ended up just watching the video. Then I had to call my wife. So I wasn't able to watch the whole explanation. But now I know 165 beats per minute is really normal. It's actually healthy for a new baby. And since then, I've been seeing the ultrasound heartbeats go down to I think they're at in the 140s now. And she's at about 4 months now, a little over 4 months. So it does make sense to me now, but it did scare me at first. All right, and then the second thing that I found out during the first ultrasound was that you can see a little circle thing on the ultrasound, and it kind of just looks like, I don't know, maybe a light reflection, but what it really is it's called the yolk sac, and what it does is it feeds the baby until the placenta is formed inside the mother to allow it to give the baby the nutrients.
This right here, this little circle,
Yeah.
that's called the yolk sac. Okay. And that's what's just feeding the baby until your placenta forms. Okay. So it's exactly what it should look like.
Awesome.
I thought that was pretty interesting because then I started finding out about placenta development. The thing about placenta development is that there are I think 4 ways that placenta can be formed, and it gets its name based on where it forms around the uterus. So they have, I really only know 2. It's the posterior and anterior placenta, which means in front or in back. And then I guess there's one kind of placenta that's going to form above the uterus, and one that will form below the uterus. And what that basically determines is when you are going to be able to feel the baby kicking while it's in the mother's womb, because based on that it has to kind of like, I guess, break through that to for you to be able to start feeling the kicks. So that was pretty cool. And I mean, I guess pregnancy has a lot more than I guess I expected it to have, but it's really cool learning this stuff. So the second ultrasound I was allowed to go to, and it really didn't have as much to learn in the second one as there was in the first one. But one thing that I learned, because now in the second one you can see a lot more of the ultrasound and you can actually see a lot more of the baby since it's growing, was you were able to see some of the organs. And what the doctor had explained was that some of the organs show up like dark, like the stomach, it's going to look black instead of like the white outline of the baby, because it has fluid in it. So whenever there's fluid, there's going to be, you're going to see the black show up instead of the white. And I guess it's probably because the ultrasound's picking up the skin and things like that, like the texture of that instead of the texture of fluid. The third ultrasound was the ultrasound where we were allowed to find out the gender of the baby, and we got to find out 2 weeks earlier than you would normally get to find out. We have a really cool doctor, so that's awesome too. And as I think you guys know, it's a boy, and that's what it looks like when it's a boy. That's a leg, that's a leg, and then in between is not a leg, as the doctor said. So yeah, I'm going to be a dad to a little boy. And just this week, we had our 4th ultrasound, which I think is the last ultrasound for quite a while. And it went really good, except we were at the doctor's office for a really long time because baby C does not like to stay still. I think he's like me a lot. Actually, you kind of see it when you see his jawline and his big nose. He's probably going to look like me. And if he's as energetic as I was when I was a kid, and pretty much still am, then I've got my hands full, because I had to tell him to get his hands out of his face at least 6 times while the doctor was trying to like see what was going on with him. And he didn't want to listen. It took maybe 15 minutes and he finally fell asleep during the ultrasound. It was kind of cool because to get him to move, he does react to like external stimuli. So when the doctor wants him to like start moving his hand, she could actually like shake the stomach a little and he'll move his hand to not get touched, basically, which I don't know, I had to laugh at it. It was awesome. And then, you know, he still didn't want to move his hand. So when the doctor left, I said, CJ, because, you know, Carmine Jr., please move your hands. And I don't think it worked. He's not a very good listener, but we're going to have to see what happens when he comes out. All right. So now I can get into what is parenting going to be like? Like, what are my thoughts now? Because, I mean, especially as an INTP, I'm sure a lot of people want to hear, like, what my opinions are as, like, an INTP who's going to be a parent, like, and how I, like, really feel about it, I guess, or how I think about it. I guess I'll try to explain both. So, pretty much, as an INTP, one of the things that I've really noticed has happened is, like, when I talk to other people who are parents already, is that they seem to get very, like, emotional about how stressed I'm probably going to end up being, or how stressed I should be. Like, I should be worried right now. And as an INTP, the unknown doesn't really scare me. It really excites me. And that's one of the things that I know about myself. And, like, when people talk to me and tell me how stressed I'm going to be, I kind of look at them and I'm like, I really don't think so. I mean, I understand it's not easy to be a parent, but at the same time, for me, it's a challenge. It's an exciting challenge. It's something I want to accomplish. Truthfully, I want to be like the best dad I can be for baby C. So I'm not worried at all. And if anything, the one thing that I do experience is that like this paternal instinct of like when I'm in the car with my wife, I'm a lot more cautious of like the cars that are around us because of the fact that she has a baby in her, and if someone hits us, I know how mad I can get and what could happen. Like really, like if someone hit us bad enough, like, and that really scares me right now. And I think as a parent, that's going to be one big thing is like more. I was a wild kid, so knowing what my kid could do is worrying about. I'm worried about what he's going to do. Is he going to go like climb a tree and decide to jump off it, or is he going to cross the road and look both ways and things like that? That's kind of where my fear comes from. But as far as like how I'm going to raise him, I don't think that really scares me. And I don't think he's going to be able to like stress me out so much, because the truth is like, I think being INTP is kind of beneficial to me because I really am interested in everything. I don't think there's anything that he could want to do that I couldn't become interested in and take time to learn about and encourage him to develop in. And like I played sports in high school, but my dad didn't pressure me to play sports in high school, and I don't plan to pressure my kid to play sports in high school. I mean, I'm not going to let him sit around and be a bum, but I've also realized that there are other things that you can do that can help you with development, and that's what I want to see with my kid. So like, I was in I actually used to build sets for plays when I was in middle school, and I think that was a great development thing. I was like in leadership program and those kind of things. I play the guitar, so I love music, and I hope he like maybe picks up that, and I hope he picks up something. It doesn't really matter to me whatever he picks up, I'm probably going to be able to like find interest in. And I know that because I also have nieces and nephews, and usually the things that they're interested in, I try to find an interest in, understand them at least. I actually have a video made that I'll be posting soon of my nephew who solves Rubik's cubes and how he solves them, and he's taught me how to solve them as well. So and that's pretty much where I see things, and I think being an introverted thinker with exploration is like great as a parent. And then on top of that, I have introverted sensing and extroverted feeling, which is where I really think this protective part of me comes out as an INTP, because that is probably the biggest thing. And I really do think I'm going to have my hands full with baby C. I don't think he's like, I personally think a lot of having a good kid is how parents raise them. But I also do think that you can't control someone's energy. If their temperament is to be moving a lot and doing things like nonstop or finding things to get into, then that's just how it is, and you just kind of go with that. So I'm really, really, really excited. I think I don't like how people try to get me scared, because it doesn't work. Like the unknown is really exciting for me. I want to see it. But until I see it, it's me just getting more and more excited, more so than nervous. And that's how I see it as an INTP. We're kind of like the crazy scientists. We're into everything. And, whatever my kid wants to do, I'm going to support it. I'll be there to help him work through it, develop through whatever skills he wants to develop. And as long as he's not getting himself into trouble, I'm going to be a happy dad. And I can't wait to meet him. So I really hope this video helps you guys. I hope if you're an INTP who has heard some of the negative descriptions of how we can be cold and things like that, I don't think it's true. I think we just want to have fun, and we have our own ways of having fun. But I do think that having a child is really going to be, for me personally, and I think for other INTPs, it's really a way to open up the exploration process for us, especially as we age. It's easier to explore when you have a child, I think, and it's probably a lot more fun. Because, when I think about it, I wouldn't go to an amusement park right now, but when my son wants to go, I'm going to go. And I'm going to have a lot of fun because it's his thing. So I get to learn a lot about that. And that's what I'm all about. So as I said, I hope this helped you. And if you have any questions or concerns or opinions about anything I've said, just let me know. And I'll have a few more videos coming out pretty soon. Thanks for watching.